Picture the absolute most over-engineered, heavily guarded vehicle on the planet. And no, we're not talking about some military tank on a battlefield. We're talking about a luxury vehicle rolling right down the middle of a city street. Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're stripping away the classified armor of the United States President's Par, universally known as the Beast. This thing isn't just transportation. It's a rolling fortress, a mobile command center, and honestly, one of the most closely guarded secrets in modern history. I mean, it sounds like a riddle, right? What car carries a supply of refrigerated blood and is systematically destroyed the moment its owner is done with it? Well, the reality is, hidden right inside the trunk of the Beast is a small refrigerator containing a stock supply of blood that matches the current president's exact blood type. It's kept on board at all times, not just as some simple precaution, but as a completely active medical asset. We're talking an onboard oxygen supply, firefighting equipment, and a presidential doctor traveling just a few vehicles away in the motorcade. The Beast is the only car in the world designed under the sobering assumption that if the absolute worst happens, a hospital simply might not be reachable in time. It doesn't just drive the president to safety, the car itself is the safety. Section 1. Secrets and Destruction. Okay, let's dive into this and see what happens when a president's term actually ends. The end of this car's life is just as fascinating as what it does on the road. And the contrast here is pretty stark. When a president's term ends, normal artifacts, desks, pens, documents, they're traditionally donated to museums or carefully preserved in presidential libraries for all of us to see. But the Beast, it is literally dismantled to dust. Every single one of these modern million-dollar vehicles is physically destroyed. Why? Well, because the classified technology, the unique armor composition, the defensive countermeasures, and the communications hardware built into these things are considered incredibly sensitive. Letting them survive into private hands is treated as a massive national security risk. So they literally crush $1 million taxpayer investment just to keep its secrets buried. Now, you might be wondering, are there any out there at all? There are a few rare exceptions from before the strict policy took effect. For example, one of Bill Clinton's 1996 Cadillacs managed to escape the crusher and recently sold at auction for over $264,000. But make no mistake, anything from the modern Beast era, starting from George W. Bush onward, is sent straight to the scrapyard to be crushed into a cube of unrecognizable metal. Section 2. Anatomy of a Fortress. Let's move to and see how this builds into an unparalleled physical defense system. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the sheer scale of the engineering. Just look at these stats. Each door on the Beast is 8 inches thick and weighs roughly the same as the cabin door of a Boeing 757 airplane. They're so incredibly heavy that the passengers inside physically cannot open the doors on their own. They actually have to be pulled open from the outside by Secret Service agents. And the windows? They're 5-inch thick, multi-layered, bullet-resistant glass. Only the driver's window even opens, and even then, only a mere 3 inches, just enough to pay a toll or speak to an agent. Then you have the tires, which are an engineering marvel on their own. They're Kevlar-reinforced run flats. But get this, even if an attacker manages to shred all 4 tires completely off the vehicle, the Beast is designed to just keep driving right on its solid steel rims. But the physical armor is really only layer 1. The Beast doesn't even breathe outside air. It's fully hermetically sealed to protect against chemical, biological, and radiological attacks, and it carries its own internal oxygen tanks. If we look under the hood, the fuel tank is armor-plated and packed with a special expanding foam matrix that stops it from exploding even if it takes a direct hit. And right beneath the passenger's feet, the floor is entirely plated to defeat landmines and improvised explosive devices. Gas, explosives, and IEDs. This car is designed to keep driving long after a normal vehicle would be a fiery wreck. But here is where the story takes a surprising and, honestly, kind of humorous turn. Despite all of this impenetrable space-age technology, the program isn't exactly immune to public humiliation. In May 2011, this 20,000-pound fortress was entirely defeated by a gentle concrete ramp. Yeah, you heard that right. Then President Barack Obama and First Lady Michelle Obama were leaving the U.S. Embassy in Dublin, Ireland, when the car got high-centered and just stuck on a small slope at the exit gates. The vehicle designed to survive biological weapons and rocket-propelled grenades literally had to be abandoned in the middle of the street. The Obamas had to switch to a backup vehicle right in front of all the news cameras and waving onlookers. To this day, it remains one of the most watched videos of the Beast ever filmed. Section 3. Weapons and Decoys. So, ramping the tension back up after that Dublin story, let's look at the astonishing, almost cinematic offensive capabilities of this vehicle. So, okay, it can be stopped by ramp, But what happens if it's stopped by something far more sinister? Its defensive countermeasures read like Hugh Branch handed them straight to James Bond. The car is rumored to be equipped with tear gas cannons that can fire in literally any direction. It has smoke screen dispensers to blind pursuers and, get this, oil slick systems to send chasing vehicles spinning off the road. It's got night vision cameras so the driver can navigate completely blacked out in the dark. If someone uninvited grabs the door handle, zap! They can be hit with a 120-volt electric shock. And tucked away inside the trunk, right alongside the medical kit and the blood we talked about, is a cache of hidden pump-action shotguns. The most heavily armored car in the world is secretly also one of the most heavily armed. And yet, if you're sitting inside, you would never even know the chaos happening outside. Because of all that massive armor, the cabin is almost entirely soundproof. To let the occupants actually hear the outside world, external microphones pick up street noise and play it through speakers on the inside. So while the outside is a heavily armed moving fortress, the inside is a perfectly quiet, sealed conference room. It's equipped with top-of-the-range satellite phones and a direct hardline to the Pentagon, meaning the president can issue orders or even transmit nuclear strike codes while cruising 40 miles per hour down the street. But why fight off an attack if you can avoid it entirely? The Secret Service relies really heavily on a high-stakes shell game. During President Joe Biden's inauguration in January 2021, observers counted 7 identical beasts deployed in the motorcade all at once. 7! All with matching license plates, all running, and all officially carrying the president as far as anyone watching could tell. It makes it mathematically nearly impossible for an attacker to know which car is the real one, and which is a heavily armored decoy. And you know, the beast is just the tip of the spear. A full presidential motorcade involves around 50 vehicles and 100 staff members constantly reshuffling their formation to remain unpredictable. And this entire circus travels globally. The beast doesn't just stay in Washington. It gets loaded into a massive C-17 Globemaster III military transport aircraft and flown ahead to whatever country the president is visiting. The rule is absolutely uncompromising. The president of the United States never steps into a foreign-built car, ever. Section 4. The $1 million truck. Let's transition into the economics and the massive logistics required to actually make this rolling fortress a reality. So, the crucial point is, with this immense scale in mind, let's look at the staggering cost behind this operation. Each individual beast costs an estimated $1.5 million just to build, and that's just the final product. General Motors reportedly spent around $15 million on research and development just for the 2018 generation used during President Donald Trump's first term. Fast forward to September 2024, and the Department of Homeland Security awarded GM a grand new contract worth up to $40.8 million just to develop the next generation beast through 2029. And for all of those millions of dollars, look at the performance specs you get. Because it weighs an earth-crushing 20,000 pounds, it gets a pretty miserable 4 to 8 miles per gallon. Worse yet, if it needs to make a quick getaway, it takes a full 15 seconds just to accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour, topping out right around that 60 miles per hour mark anyway. It is undeniably one of the slowest cars on the road. This brings us to the grand illusion of the vehicle. From the outside, it looks like a sleek, stretched luxury Cadillac sedan, but underneath, it's built on a heavy-duty GMC top-kick truck chassis. The beast isn't really a Cadillac at all. It's essentially a medium-duty industrial commercial truck wearing a very expensive, very convincing Cadillac costume. Section 5. The ultimate paradox. Let's slow things down a bit here and reflect on the philosophical reality of everything we've just covered. After examining the blood, the shotguns, the Boeing 757 doors, and the millions of dollars spent, we really have to look at the reality of its usage. Here is the uncomfortable, central truth about this miraculous machine. No president riding inside one of these modern beasts has ever been seriously attacked, not once. The vehicle has literally never actually been used in combat. The entire ecosystem of electrified handles, expanding foam, oxygen tanks, and armored floors has been meticulously designed for a devastating moment that has, thankfully, never come to pass. As our source material so perfectly captures it, it is the most expensive insurance policy in the world. And the goal of the entire program is that no beast in history ever has to do the thing it was built to do. The beast doesn't exist because the Secret Service expects a routine attack. It exists because the consequences of being unprepared, even for a single second, are completely unthinkable. And this brilliantly illustrates the true genius of the vehicle by showing the world a massive, unstoppable, secretive fortress that crushes its own history just to hide its weaknesses. It creates an aura of sheer invincibility. It really begs the question, is the illusion of absolute invulnerability just as important as the physical armor itself? Think about that the next time you see that long black Cadillac rolling quietly down the street, hiding a panic room, a hospital, a weapons cache, and a command center right in plain sight. Keep learning, keep questioning, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.